Radio, DaQuan, you're expecting he'll be active on Sunday?
I do, yeah. I mean, barring anything unforeseen happening today, he'll be active on Sunday, yeah.
What have you seen from him just mindset-wise over the last stretch of, doing everything he's needed to do to make this comeback?
I think just the transition or the progression, if you will, of getting himself ready to go. And it's been a journey for him, right? To come back. We didn't know for sure whether he'd make it back or not, and I commend him for working so diligently and then having the desire to come back and play. That doesn't always happen around the league, right? So I think that says a lot about who he is and what he thinks of this team and his teammates.
Guys have talked about, in addition to what he brings to the field, just from a football perspective, kind of the emotional boost there. Where do you see that of, kind of the more untangible qualities?
Yeah, veteran leader. He's got a great way about him, on and off the field, and a lot of experience. He's got a good relationship with Coach Washington, and they work together in there with sharing some of that wisdom. And I think just the biggest thing is managing expectations in terms of what he's able to do. I think a lot of times you see a player come back and all of a sudden it's like everyone else kind of, okay, well, we can relax. No, we have to manage expectations with what, how much he's going to be able to play and then what he's going to be able to do just in his first game back after, 10 weeks, whatever it's been.
I know you expressed having to have some patience with AJ Epenesa's injury. How has he progressed over the last week or so to the point?
Yeah, I think he's getting close. I'll know more today. I got a little bit of information from yesterday's practice, and we'll know more today, Joe, at this point. So.
With Micah, too, is that moving in a positive direction?
I believe it is, yeah. I believe he's going to be out there again unless something happens today. I believe he'll be out there Sunday.
Out there playing Sunday?
Yes.
Is that, obviously, we've talked a lot about how Micah's is a little, there's more that goes into it because of everything he dealt with last year and all of that. Has this still been like that conversation with where he's at and, I don't know, a little bit more involved with this injury?
You try and communicate as much as you can around every situation, every injury situation in this case, and there's been conversations with Micah's like there have others, but then sometimes even more conversations just because of the type of injury it was and that he's dealing with. So just again, I want to make sure everyone's on the same page and everybody's on board.
The value of Micah to this team is kind of evident, but having someone like him back out there for the game, what does that do for this defense?
Yeah, listen, he and Jordan both, and I've said this before, I mentioned it in here, that they, sat here or stood here 7 years ago and had their introductory press conferences, so, they've helped us build this to where it is, and they're a big reason for the culture being the way the culture is around here and this winning mindset that we have.
Hey, Sean, on Wednesday we asked you specifically with Matt Milano in regards to the playoffs. Have you gotten any more clarification as to whether or not he could potentially be available?
Yeah, I believe that's a no-go. I have not heard otherwise, so I'm going to stay with what I understand to be the case.
Talking to Khalil yesterday, and he was saying he feels one of his strengths is kind of just awareness and a feel for the game. How rare is that in a player, just in his second year, to have kind of the awareness that he has when he's out there to make some of the plays he's made?
Yeah, those are things you can't coach. The instincts. When you have players that have instincts like Khalil does, there are things that, for instance, when you're standing in a meeting room and you're saying, hey, do you understand what we're talking about here? He can see the game. Players with instincts generally can see the game in their mind, whereas other players who have height, weight, and speed struggle sometimes with that. And so there's a gap that you have to close in those situations.
Do you have an update on Damian Harris?
No update.